I am Sham, and I'm back with a brand new track, and this is going to be a recap of day one of my attempt at a Transcon Trainhop across America and Canada. Alrighty, so I leave my hometown of Corvallis, Oregon, and I head up to Seattle, which is like a 4.5 hour, 5 hour drive. And I rode this bus called Flixbus. It's really affordable. It was only like $35 to travel that distance. I think it's like 250 miles, and I'm going to rag on you non-Americans. I think that's like, I don't, 30 some dollars. That's like, for a buck, you can get a 2 liter soda. So I think it's like for 60 liters of carbonated beverage, you can travel that far. And yeah, 250 miles, I think that's like if you recited the Bill of Rights and the Pledge of Allegiance and the Constitution forward and backwards and then upside down. I think that's like the equivalent of time that it's going to take. So, anyways, my buddy drops me off. Like, this is like the last day of April, second to last day of April. And I arrive in Seattle, where I'm going to catch out, hopefully to Denver. So I arrive at the catch out spot, and I'm scanning the area, and I see some bushes across the street. Perfect spot. Urban Camping 101. Been there, done that. I've shown that little clip, and I set myself up, and I'm just kind of scouting. And my kind of strategy is I have my big pack and my sleeping bag that I leave behind, and then I have a foldable backpack, which is my day bag. I have all my essentials in there. And if I'm not able to catch out, I just go around town doing my things, spending time at the library, maybe hitting up the gym, things of that nature, just passing up time. And the strategy is that you want to try to do things at night. So once sunset hits, you're at the yard and you're doing your thing. Well, first couple attempts aren't successful, and then I realize, hey, like, I'm trying to go to Denver because every route's going to go to Seattle to Spokane to begin with. Go into the yard, and I start to try to ID containers, and one of them stands out that I've never seen, and it's called United Shipping. Do some research, and it's out of Denver. Perfect. So now I know which train I most likely should be getting on. I see some DPUs, some locomotives pull back and attach, and that's my go sign to get on. Thankfully, it takes off. This is the earlier part of May 1st, officially started my journey, and we spent the next 12 hours going through all of Washington. And the thing with trains is that you can get up to 60, 70 miles per hour, but they side out a lot, and sometimes they go slow and whatnot. Very hard to get a grip on it. About 50 miles from Spokane, from the yard, I decide to lay down. Next thing I know, I wake up and I'm rolling through the Spokane yard. It's like, oh shit, I gotta scramble. I gotta get my stuff ready, and I managed to do so. And then we come to a stop, and I sort of look ahead, and I'm like, okay, this is good because we're rolled past the points that I've been at before. Thing with the BNSF yard in here in Seattle is that it's pretty fenced in. So it's hard to maneuver, and it's notorious as being a spot where people do get caught. We come to a stop, and I start hearing a dog bark. And it's kind of weird because, like, there's no residential area around that I know of. And I hear some footsteps and shuffling and stuff like that. And all of a sudden I hear somebody climbing up, and I'm like, okay, I know what's up here. And I just start laughing. And I've been through numerous law enforcement encounters throughout the last 2.5, 3 years of exploring. And I know that attitude goes a long way, and it reciprocates. If you are chill and calm and take things easy, they're going to do the same thing. And of course, comes up, takes this picture of me, tells me to get off the train, but it's unbelievably chill. Madison and Ashley are the officers, and they're with the railroad company. So they have police officer authority within that yard. They're able to write citations, detain you, arrest you, whatever. And the funny thing is that somebody had alerted me before that the yard buzzards, they're big YouTubers, very experienced train hoppers, followed them for a while, check them out. They'd been stopped there a week before. And I swear, I just had this inclination like, this is going to be the time I'm going to get caught. Guess what? I'm right. The thing with me is like, I was a juvenile delinquent. I've dealt with this shit. So for me, it's not a big deal. Okay, it's bound to happen. It's almost like this badge of honor in a sense. And they tell me it was just bad luck. My train car just happened to stop right by where they were parked, and they just happened to choose that day to be in that vicinity because they patrol, a large area. Sees me through a small hole in the well. Anyways, it tells me, this is how it goes. We're going to write you up. You can contact the court because you're not local. You can figure out some sort of like virtual way of doing this, and go from there. And he knows that I'm most likely going to try to hop back on sometime. And their ideas like, we're not going to try to pursue you. Just don't let us see you, because it's intriguing and interesting on their end as to how things go. And I don't think they're trying to make life tough. They're doing their job. I acknowledge that. And it's more of like this interesting cat and mouse type of game. Also, there's another person, I think, jumping off a cliff. I know him on Instagram, and he's had people show up at his house. So if you train hop long enough, this is going to happen. It's not a big deal. The journey will continue. And essentially, it's made me have to rethink the journey in terms of logistics and how to proceed from there, because I still want to eventually make it to Denver. I want to do a Western loop, and that's kind of my outlier. That's kind of the boundary I want to set, to go to Denver and then kind of circle all the way back through Vegas, LA, Bay Area, and then start heading east. But yeah, that's just kind of the gist of it. Stay tuned. I want to do more vlogs, more personal stuff. I will be keeping people updated because, again, I'd love to meet people, and just sort of a small story there. Anyways, I'm Sham, and I'm out. Peace.